I thought I'd break it down in a little more detail to show you how this hobby news might be affecting you. So let's look through the different things that it might mean for eBay to extend bidding. Basically, this means you used to be able to throw in a snipe at the last second, and then you'd wait for the loading bar to finish up, and you'd find out, did you get a good deal on the auction? Did somebody else come in and bid over you? Well, what they're saying now is under 2 minutes left in the auction. If someone bids, it extends the auction for 2 minutes. And you have 2 full minutes to decide if you want to bid again. So what could go wrong? What could go right with this? Well, the first thing that some people are very concerned about is shill bidding. Does this enable shill bidding to go on at a more frequent rate than before, and to really carry things into a ridiculous place in the market? I think there's a solid argument for that. The other thing that this means, are comps going to be higher? As a general rule of thumb, I think they are. I think comps will raise along with this extended bidding. Why is that? There are a lot of people, especially when you get into a higher price point, maybe not on a $50 card, but if we're talking like a $500 or $600 card, and let's say that you said, I'm not going to spend more than $500 on this, that's my cap. But if you had 2 minutes to think about it, would you actually be at $550? Maybe. The temptation's going to be there at least. Am I really going to let this card slide? It's only $2 over the max that I told myself I would be at. Well, what we don't know is whoever you're bidding against, what's their real number, right? But in general, I think this does raise the overall comp market. Is that a good thing? It's a good question. Is it a good thing that these are probably going to raise comps? My initial thought is yes, and here's the reason why. Most auction houses in the world, in most spaces, run on an extended bidding platform. A bid is put in. If you think of the traditional auctioneer, going once, going twice, there's a whole process leading up to make sure nobody else in the room wants the card. With extended bidding, that's still a possibility. You can find out the value. What is the value of a card? What somebody's actually willing to pay. So I do think it raises the overall value of the card market. I think also it has the potential to standardize that comp market as well. If people can see now that these are extended bids that are carrying a card 20% higher, 10% higher, whatever, then that kind of becomes the new baseline. Now, the assumption here is that these aren't all shill bids, that people are paying for their stuff, but those are eBay problems that eBay needs to solve. They've been around. They need to be addressed. I got into a few different conversations with some different repackers, and they brought up a good point that I don't think that most collectors and even card show dealers realize how much of the repack product is sourced on eBay as well. The repackers aren't necessarily needing to buy something at a deep margin because when they go through the product that they have, they just establish here's where the values are. How do we want to build out this next case, right? So there's a lot of buying that's happening there. Many of them and collectors are using sniping softwares where they kind of say, you know, what their top dollar is, and then the snipe softwares will hop in at the last millisecond and try to drop that bid in. Well, now that's not going to work. And when we think about the efficiency side of this for the repacker, that's going to create a headache. Why? Because now you have to pay attention to 10 auctions that are ending or not ending every 2 minutes, and your max bid may not be there. You may be paying up a little more. So I certainly understand that.